Hello. Hi everyone. Hi everyone. Welcome to a new live stream. How are you today? I hope you're doing well. Hola a todos. Bienvenidos a un nuevo en vivo. ¿Cómo están? Espero que estén muy bien. Today we're going to learn different verbs that will help you say or pretty much say to try, or the verb to try in English in Spanish. So there are different verbs that will help you do that. We will learn some basic ones, and we will also learn in what situations you can use them. And it's going to be very interesting for sure. Before we get started, don't forget to subscribe and also click on the bell icon so you can get notified every time I live stream. I want to give a big shout out to our Cafecito members, to Brianna Lee, Dale Mitchell, Ruby Brockenberry, Christopher Michael, William Lopez, David Beaver, and KS. Thank you guys for the support. El cafecito está delicioso. So one way to support this channel is by getting a membership, of course, a Cafecito membership. If you want to know more about it, please click on the join button down below. Essentially, you're just buying me a cup of coffee every month. And so it's a very cheap membership. I think it's like less than $30. And there are some perks when getting this membership as well. So if you want to read more about it, please just click on the join button down below. Thank you, Cafecito members. Okay, remember that I'm live streaming, so you can use the live chat if you have any questions. Please let me know. You can use the live chat for that. You can say hola. You can practice some Spanish, of course. And the only thing you gotta do, you gotta subscribe to this channel if you want to use the live chat, because it's only for subscribers. So, just click on that subscribe button. Okay, let's get started. So today's Spanish lesson is about learning different verbs, Spanish verbs, to say to try in Spanish. So in English, we have to try. To try can mean different things in English, of course, but we're talking about actions, right? We're talking about trying to do something, or maybe trying something on, So yes, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be a short lesson, but really interesting. Okay. So I think we're going to learn around 7 Spanish verbs. So that's great. Okay. So the first one is, you see it right here, intentar. This one right here. Oops. This one. Oh my God, it's too thick now. This one right here. Intentar. So this is a very literal translation of the English verb to try. So intentar means to try, or also to attempt. If you need to do something, you want to try to do something, you're attempting to do something, you can use intentar for that kind of situation. For example, I can say Miguel intenta estacionar el carro. Miguel intenta estacionar el carro. This means Miguel tries, or is trying, but the literal translation is Miguel tries to park the car. Okay? Miguel intenta. Él intenta. He tries. In this case, Miguel tries to park the car. Estacionar, this verb right here. Estacionar, by the way, I just want to let you know something interesting about this verb, estacionar, is usually used in Latin America. And the verb, I'm just going to remove this, aparcar, that is used in Spain. Okay, aparcar, estacionar. So they both mean the same thing, to park, specifically a car. So yeah, that's a very interesting thing about estacionar, aparcar, two different verbs. They mean the same thing, and they're used in different locations, in different countries. Okay, Miguel intenta estacionar el carro. Miguel tries to park the car. So intentar is a very basic and a very good verb if you want to say to try in Spanish. Okay, yo intento, tú intentas, él intenta, nosotros intentamos, and so on. So you gotta know the conjugation of the verb, of course, if you want to use it. So yeah. That's a good verb. Now, the next verb is tratar de. Tratar de. This also means to try. It's very similar to intentar. Intentar, tratar de. Very similar. Of course, we're adding the word de because it's like phrasal verbs in English. Like get up, get down, get out, right? So in Spanish, we have something similar. We sometimes need the verb and a preposition. So in this case, we're using de, tratar de. So just remember that. Tratar de, tratar de. Now, let's see an example. Yo trataré de venir mañana. Yo trataré de venir mañana. You don't need yo, but I added it there just, you know what I'm talking about. You can say trataré de venir mañana. That's a very common thing to do in Spanish. If you watch my lessons, you know that I constantly say that in Spanish, you don't need to say personal pronouns too often. So yo, tú, él, nosotros, vosotros. Yeah, you can use them, of course, but not like repeatedly. Hello, Chris knows. Hola, buenas. Hola, Chris. Mr. Steven X, buen día. Hello, Mr. Steven X. Welcome, guys. Welcome. Okay, so yo trataré de venir mañana means I will try to come tomorrow. Okay? So, yo trataré means I will try, or I will try to. Yo trataré de, I will try to. Venir means come, in this case, to come. And mañana, you know what that means. Mañana means tomorrow. Mañana. Yo trataré de venir mañana. I will try to come tomorrow. So remember, intentar, the first verb, intentar, and tratar de, same thing. They mean to try or to attempt. In this case, intentar means to attempt. Okay? Also, very similar. I mean, you can use either one, intentar or tratar de. Both mean to try. Excellent. Hello, Bruce McCormick. Welcome. Hola. ¿Cómo estás? Espero que todo bien. Welcome. Okay, now, probar. Probar. This is the next verb. Probar. Probar means to try, and specifically it's used if you want to find a solution or you're trying to just find some solution to some problem, okay? or if you want to try something out, you know. For example, I could say, prueba, I'm just gonna underline this. Prueba esto. Prueba esto. Prueba esto. So if you're cooking something and you want someone to taste what you're eating, what you're cooking, sorry, you can say that. Prueba esto. Try this. Okay? Prueba esto. Or in general, if you're giving something to someone to try something specifically, it could be food, it could be things, objects, it could be anything that you're giving to your friend, your family, or whatever. You can say prueba esto, and that means try this. Try this. Okay? Prueba esto. Prueba, that's the conjugated form of the verb probar. Probar, prueba. Tú pruebas, él prueba, yo pruebo, okay? Prueba is more like a command. Prueba, try. You're not asking if you want to try something, or if the person wants to try something. It's like you are telling them, prueba esto, try this. It's a command. Hello, Andrew Casillas. Hola, finalmente puedo ver un video en vivo. Ajá. Welcome. Estoy tratar otra vez. Quizás. Interesting. Welcome, Andrew. It's nice that you're watching the live stream while it's happening. That's awesome. Welcome. Okay. Prueba esto. Try this. Also, another example. Miguel probó reiniciar la computadora. Okay? Miguel probó reiniciar la computadora. That means Miguel tried restarting the computer. Okay? Maybe something was wrong with the computer, so he had to restart the computer. So that's what he did. Miguel probó reiniciar la computadora. In this situation, probar is very similar to trying something to solve a situation. Okay? You have a problem and you are trying to fix the situation. Okay? You're finding or attempting a solution. You need to do something about what's going on. Okay? So it's just like you know, you're testing as well. Let me try to do something to fix this. Okay? So you can use probar for that specific situation as well. Probó, that's past tense. Miguel probó. He tried. Miguel tried. Reiniciar, by the way, reiniciar is an interesting verb that means to restart, or in this situation, restarting. Reiniciar. Probó reiniciar. It's very common in Spanish to have, you know, your subject, in this case, Miguel, verb. It could be, in this situation, past tense, probó, and you can add another verb. Okay, and usually you have to have the infinitive, an infinitive verb, in infinitive form. Reiniciar, caminar, correr, comer. You know, when the verb ends in ar, or ir. So that's interesting to have. Miguel probó reiniciar. We're not saying reiniciando. In English, it works. But in Spanish, usually you use a lot of infinitive forms of verbs. So, Miguel probó reiniciar la computadora. Computadora means computer. Very similar. The spelling is very similar. In Spain, if you are interested in the Spanish from Spain, you would have to change it to ordenador. Ordenador. This is a very common thing that you probably know already. Ordenador means computer in Spain. In Latin America, computadora. La computadora. In Spain, el ordenador. So, by the way, I didn't change this. It will be that definite article, el ordenador. Miguel probó reiniciar el ordenador. In Spain. In Latin America, la computadora. Excellent. Thank you so much, Andrew, for the nice message. I'm glad that you're enjoying the lessons. Thank you. Okay. So we learned so far 3 different verbs: intentar, tratar de, and probar. Probar is interesting. It's a very interesting verb. Specifically, when probar, just remember that has 2 different uses. One is to try something, like when you give something to someone to try, you use probar for that situation. And also when you're trying to fix a situation, a problem. Okay, excellent. Now let's learn 4 more verbs. Yes, so remember, if you have any questions, let me know and I'll do my best and try to answer all of them. Great. Now, the next verb is intentar abrir. And this one, I'm including this one because you can change this verb to other verbs. But I just wanted to give you a formula, to know how to use intentar in a more complex way, more advanced way. So intentar, you know what that means. It means to try. That was the first verb we learned. And intentar abrir in this situation, or that means to try to open. Okay, abrir means to open. Intentar, to try. Intentar abrir, to try to open. For example, I can say, voy a intentar abrir la puerta. Voy a intentar abrir la puerta. This means, no, this doesn't mean where can I go out. No. This means I will try to open. I will say I will try to open the door. Sorry about that translation. I missed that. I use a template, so I just missed to change that translation specifically. But yeah, voy a means I will. Intentar, try. Abrir, to open, or intentar in this situation. Intentar, to try to. Abrir, open. La puerta, the door. Voy a intentar abrir la puerta. I will try to open the door. Okay? So, intentar abrir, both they are infinitive, which is interesting, but it's correct in Spanish to do this. So, intentar abrir. You're not conjugating the verbs there. So, in this sentence works as well, to have it just like that. Intentar abrir. Abrir, obviously you can change this to a different verb. Intentar, amar. To try to love. Okay, amar means to love. Voy a intentar amar. In this situation, you need you are not gonna love the door. So amar a usually is also a very good thing to remember, those two, amar a, because you can see that often in Spanish. Voy a intentar amar a mi perro, for example. I mean, if you have a pet, obviously you love your pet, but if that pet is misbehaving, then you might have to say something like this. Voy a intentar amar a mi perro. I will try to love my dog. Okay, so intentar can have also another verb. To try to love, to try to hate, to try to walk, to try to exercise. So that's how would you do it in Spanish. Intentar amar, intentar correr, to try to run, right? Intentar cocinar, that's a longer verb. To try to cook, you know. So if you're talking about trying something, to do something, you can use this formula right here. Intentar cocinar, intentar caminar, intentar viajar. Okay, viajar can also work. Viajar, and that means to try to travel. Okay, so that's an interesting thing about Spanish for sure. So let's just go back to open. Okay, there you go. So keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. Hello, KS. Welcome. Welcome, KS. Bienvenido. Okay. The next one, guys, is poner. Poner a prueba. Poner a prueba. This literally means to put something or someone to the test. You know, also it can mean try. It's similar, but poner a prueba means to put something to the test, to put someone to the test. Okay? For example, pon a Miguel a prueba por una semana. Pon a Miguel a prueba por una semana. This means let's try Miguel for a week. Okay, so let's say Miguel got hired. You know, he's working, he's new. So usually employers, you know, they have this time where they're, you know, putting the person to the test or just trying someone to see if that person can actually do the job. So this can work, this situation, and this verb, poner a prueba, or the phrase, can work perfectly for that situation. Pon a Miguel a prueba por una semana. In this situation, we are using poner, pon is poner, obviously it's conjugated. Pon is conjugated. Pon sounds very, very curious. Like pon. Pon a, we have the letter A. Pon a Miguel. So we can put, when you are talking about someone, because you could have it in a different way as well. But let's just remember, pon a Miguel a. So technically, that's the a that we have here. But remember, a Miguel, a ella, a él, usually is common in Spanish. But if you're talking, for example, I don't know, about a woman, you can say ponla, okay? Ponla a prueba por una semana. And this means let's try her for a week, or let's put her to the test for a week, okay? Or ponlo, it could be a thing, or it could be a person, a male person. Ponlo a prueba por una semana. So put it to the test for a week, or put him to the test for a week, or let's try him for a week. Okay, so it's an advanced phrase, and but essentially is pon ... a prueba por una semana. So you have to add something here. Pon a Miguel, right? That could be something. Pon a Miguel, pon a María, pon, and then again, you can use pronouns, right? Ponla, ponlo, okay? So that's very, very interesting for sure. Ponlos, so that's plural, and you're talking about them. Put them to the test, or let's try them for a week, and so on. So it's very interesting that this phrase, how this phrase works. You have to pay attention to that. In this situation, we're having Miguel, okay? Pon a Miguel. So this is what we added to the phrase, okay? So you have the verb poner, and then your subject, and then a prueba. Okay, so that's the formula right there. And then add the rest. Por una semana, por un día, por un año. Okay, so in this situation, por una semana means for a week. Okay, so keep that in mind. It's very important. The order is very important in every language when we're talking about grammar. Okay. I'm going to ask your questions at the end of the stream. So yeah, just feel free to ask any questions about what we're learning. I see you, Andrew. I'll talk about what you're asking in a sec. Okay, so poner a prueba, to try to put something or someone to the test. Now, the next one, esforzarse, esforzarse. Remember the Z or Z sound in Spanish is the same as the letter S. Esforzarse. So S, and Z or theta depends. If you're in Spain, then you have to do the right. You have to have the right pronunciation. The th sound is for esforzarse, or if you're in Latin America, esforzarse. Okay, so that's just a little detail. It's up to you what you want to do. But if you are in Spain and you say esforzarse, they're going to understand you. So don't worry about that. Esforzarse means to try again. It's very similar. It's very similar to try, and also to make an effort. So you want to do something so badly, you have to make an effort to do something that you really want to do. It could be something like exercise, it could be something about working hard, or saving money because you want to go somewhere, visit a different country or something like that. So esforzarse means to try and also to make an effort. For example, I can say Miguel, I use Miguel a lot. Miguel nunca dejó de esforzarse. Okay, esforzarse. And remember, we have the se, which means it can be used in a reflexive way. So you could say esforzarse, me esfuerzo. So you use the pronouns me, se, le. I think it's mostly esforzar. You can say esforzarme, esforzarse, me esfuerzo. So you know those pronouns. I have lessons about that, so feel free to search for those lessons about those pronouns se, me, te, le as well. So yeah, very important. But anyways, Miguel nunca dejó de esforzarse. This means Miguel never stopped trying. In this situation, well, esforzarse means to try, but also this could mean Miguel never stopped making an effort. Okay? So very, very flexible there. It has two different meanings, but essentially you're talking about making an effort and trying to do something really badly. Miguel nunca, remember, nunca means never. Dejó de, in this situation, means stopped. Esforzarse, trying. Okay, dejar is a very interesting Spanish verb. We can talk about that one too. It has different meanings, but yeah, in this situation, it means stopped. So never stopped. Nunca dejó de esforzarse. Never stopped trying. Excellent. So just remember that esforzarse can be used in a reflexive way. And it's a good verb for sure. And we have another reflexive verb here. Probarse. Probarse. Probarse means, this is very simple because it's just about trying something on. You know, if you're gonna try something on, a jacket, a dress, t-shirt, pants, any clothing, any piece of clothing, you can use this this specifically, probarse. It's different than probar. We have it here. Just let me delete this or erase that. Probar. Probar is it's similar, but it's different. Probar, remember, to try, to find or attempt a solution, or to try something out, you know. And probarse is because it's reflexive. That means to try something on, okay? For example, pruébate este vestido. Pruébate este vestido. This means try on this dress. Okay? Pruébate. Pruébate. We're not saying prueba. Okay? Remember that reflexive verbs can work very differently than other verbs in Spanish. Probarse, you gotta have the pronouns, indirect object pronouns or direct object pronouns. Pruébate, pruébate, pruébales, pruébame, and so on. Or you can have the pronouns before the verb. Me pruebo, te pruebas, le prueba, and so on. So yeah, that's a completely different lesson, but I just wanted to point that out because When you learn a verb, you need to know how to use it. Can you use it in a reflexive way? Can you use it just in a regular way? How can you do it, right? How can you use it? Anyways, pruébate means try on. Este means this, okay? This. Vestido, dress. Vestido, el vestido. Remember, it's a masculine noun. We don't need to put here el. Pruébate este vestido. If you have el here, it doesn't work. You don't need el. That's why when some people learn Spanish and they learn the definite article, el, la, los, las, and then the noun, and they want to always say el vestido, la naranja. You don't always need the definite article. You just need to know if the noun is feminine or masculine. That's important to tell you guys. Okay. Pruébate este vestido. Try on this dress. Probarse, once again, means to try something on, specifically clothing. Okay? Just clothing. Okay. So we learned 7 different verbs. Intentar, to try or to attempt. This is the most basic verb to say to try in Spanish. We have tratar de, which is just similar to intentar. You can use either one. And if you don't want to sound repetitive in Spanish, that's a good idea to have multiple similar verbs when talking about certain things. Tratar de. Oh, sorry, I missed one. Probar means to try, to try something out, to find a solution or to attempt a solution if you want to find a solution to a problem. Also, intentar abrir means to try to open, but once again, you can change the second verb to any other verb. Intentar comer, intentar abrir, intentar caminar, intentar amar. So I just wanted to talk about it because it's a very flexible verb or phrase. Also, poner a prueba. Poner a prueba is a phrase, but you need to know the conjugation of the verb poner, of course. Poner a prueba, to put something or someone to the test, to try as well. Esforzarse, that means to try or to make an effort. You really want something. You really, really want something to happen, and you work for it. So use that verb for those situations. Probarse means to try something on. Specifically, just to try clothing on. And that's it. So you know now 7 different verbs that will help you say to try in Spanish. You can obviously verbs that will work in different situations, but essentially they mean to try. Okay. So do you have any questions, guys? Please let me know. Let's read what Andrew's saying. Okay. How would you say, like, I'm trying to learn the best I can? When people ask me, ¿se hablo español? Y le dije, sí, poquito, intentar mucho. Would that be right? Okay. So you want to say that you're trying to learn the best you can. So if someone asks you, for example, just let me remove this. I'll show you something. Okay, so if you're trying to say, let me just remove this and this. Okay, So someone is saying to you, hablas, if someone is asking you, hablas español. So that means, do you speak Spanish? I'm just gonna put this one here. Do you speak Spanish? And you are saying, you wanna say, I'm trying to learn the best I can. So what you're actually saying to people is, sí, yes, poquito, a little. Intentar mucho. If you're saying intentar mucho, if you're saying this to someone who asks you, ¿hablas español? Do you speak Spanish? And you're saying sí poquito, that means yes, a little. Intentar mucho sounds incomplete. I could understand that you're trying to speak the language like a lot. I mean, you're trying your best. Intentar mucho sounds a bit incomplete. People will understand you, but sounds a bit incomplete. I would say something like, intento. You can even, if you feel more comfortable saying yo, using personal pronouns, you can say yo, I estoy intentando. I'm trying, okay? That means I'm trying. And then you want to say, trying to learn the best I can. Yo estoy intentando aprender. By the way, intentando. Yo estoy intentando aprender. It's gonna be a bit longer, but lo más que puedo. Okay, so let's break that down. What you're saying here is sí poquito, yes a little bit. You can even have a period here. I think a period will be better. And then like that. Sí poquito, yes a little. Yo estoy intentando. I'm trying to learn, aprender. Why do I have two periods here? Damn it. Okay. Lo más que puedo. This phrase right here, lo más que puedo, as much as I can. That's the literal translation. If you're trying to learn the best I can, if you literally translate that into Spanish, it doesn't make much sense. So I would use the phrase lo más que puedo. Lo más que puedo means as much as I can. I'm trying to learn. You can add even Spanish or lo, because you're already talking about a language. Estoy intentando aprenderlo. I'm trying to learn. You're technically saying I'm trying to learn it. Or you can say aprender español. Right? Lo más que puedo. Lo más que puedo means as much as I can. Okay? So that's what I would say to someone. If you want to say I'm trying really hard to learn the language, you can say that. Sí poquito. Yo estoy intentando aprender español lo más que puedo. Yes, a little. I'm trying to learn Spanish as much as I can. Okay? So that's one way to say it. Sorry. Okay. I hope that helps. By the way, you don't have to capitalize español. I know in English you capitalize the first letter English, Spanish, the first letter is capital, but in Spanish, you don't need to do that when talking about languages. Okay. Okay, so I see that you added something else, Andrew. I've been trying really hard. What do you think? Would si yo intento mucho, or rather, yo tratar mucho? Okay. Yo tratar mucho. Trato mucho. Because if you say yo tratar mucho, obviously, well, that's you're not conjugating tratar, the verb tratar. Yo trato mucho. You can say yo trato mucho. Or yo intento aprender español mucho. That's another way to say it. Or you can say lo más que puedo. Yo estoy intentando aprender español lo más que puedo. I'm trying to learn Spanish as much as I can. I think it's similar to what you're trying to say. Okay. Chris, are intentar and esforzarse similar in how they can be used, and how can... Okay. Okay, so intentar, as I said previously, that is just a translation of to try. It's very basic. Esforzarse is more like you're working really hard to do something. So you're making an effort, as I previously mentioned. Esforzarse, as I said, esforzarse is a reflexive verb. So you need to know how to use reflexive verbs if you want to know how to use that verb. It's a very long topic. So as I said, I have lessons about that, but it's very simple. It's not that difficult. Intentar is not reflexive. So the difference here is yo intento, tú intentas, él intenta, okay? So yo intento. Oops. Oh my God. Yo intento. I try, okay? I try. If you want to say esfuerzo or esforzarse, if you want to use that verb, yo me esfuerzo. Okay, so this is conjugated in a regular way, basic way. This one is reflexive. Yo me esfuerzo. That's because you're using the pronoun me. Once again, it's a very long topic. I don't know if I even have time to explain the whole thing, but feel free to use to browse my channel. But once again, intentar, very basic. It means to try. You can try to pick something up. Yo intento levantar algo. If you say, for example, let me just put it here. Yo intento levantar la caja. Okay? Yo intento levantar la caja. That means I try to lift up the box. So you're trying to pick it up, okay? To lift, levantar means to lift up. If you say yo me esfuerzo yo me esfuerzo por, or I would say, if you want to use, like, I'm really trying to lift up the box, I would use esfuerzo. Yo me esfuerzo por levantar la caja. So the difference here is that I would say en. Yo me esfuerzo en levantar la caja. Yo Yo intento levantar la caja is like you're trying to lift the box up. Okay, so you're just trying. It could be a very light box, and that's okay. But if you are using esfuerzo instead, it's like you're making an effort. Maybe the box is way too heavy, and you're really trying, really trying to lift up the box. So that's the difference. Intentar is just, I'm just trying to do something. Esfuerzo or esforzarse is like you're making an effort. That's why I added to the definition here, esforzarse, to make an effort, because it's something that you really want to do. In this situation, the box can be heavy, right? So you're really trying to lift that up. So that's the difference. And once again, how to use either one or each one of those verbs. Intentar is not reflexive. Well, you could technically do it reflexive or make it reflexive, but you don't have to. So this is a more simple, basic verb. And this one, esforzarse, is more complex. You need to use it in a reflexive way. I hope that helps, Chris. Andrew, lo más que puedo. So, okay, sí, poquito. Yo estoy intentando aprender español. Lo más que puedo. Yes. Excellent, Andrew. Good job. Okay. Lindsay, en el futuro, después mi nivel de español es fluido. Fingers crossed. Okay. Trataré de volverme tan bueno en el software de Adobe como tú. Yeah. That's great. That's awesome. Thank you so much for sharing. Your Spanish, Lindsay, is very good. You're almost there. You're doing pretty good. You're doing pretty good. En el futuro, después, mi nivel de español, después, okay. Trataré de volverme tan bueno en el software de Adobe. I love it. Yeah, it's a great comment. Thank you so much, Lindsay. I would say en el futuro, cuando mi nivel de español sea fluido. Okay, you almost got it there. Almost perfect. Cuando, so I'm just gonna put it here so you know what I'm saying. Okay. En el futuro, cuando mi nivel de español sea fluido. I believe I'm just gonna one sec. Fluido. Yeah, sometimes even Spanish speakers need to double check if a word needs an accent mark. I thought fluido needed an accent mark, but I was doubting myself. Doesn't need an accent mark. En el futuro, cuando mi nivel de español sea fluido, this means in the future when my Spanish level is fluid. So that's a good way to say that, a different way to say that. Trataré de volverme tan bueno, that's great, perfect, en el software de Adobe como tú. Software, yeah. Good job, Lindsay. Perfect. Right. Yeah, it happens. I mean, Spanish is not easy. And but it's not impossible. It's not impossible, guys. You can learn Spanish you can speak the language perfectly. Don't worry about it. It's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to you know, to not know something and then try to say something similar. That's all good. You can ask questions. Don't be afraid of asking questions, of making mistakes, because that's how you learn any language. I make mistakes in Spanish and in English, mostly in English because English is my second language. Sometimes it's a pronunciation, sometimes it's grammar. It's okay to make mistakes. That's how you learn, for sure. And well, I see that you had really good questions. Thank you, Andrew. Thank you, Chris. I see René. Hola, se me olvidó sobre esta noche. It's all good. Welcome, Renee. Thank you for being here. Thank you, everyone. Bruce McCormick. Also, Mr. Stephen X. Thank you for stopping by and, leaving a comment. Thank you for asking interesting questions about Spanish. And that's it. Thank you so much, guys. You're great. Thank you for tuning in. Remember that I live stream every Tuesday around 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Just if you don't want to miss any of my live streams, please feel free, or please just click on that bell icon, because that way YouTube will notify you every time I live stream. I think YouTube tells you like half an hour before live stream starts. So yeah, that's pretty cool. That's awesome. De nada. That's awesome. Thank you. And yeah, please, if you like this video, give it a like. That helps me a lot. And if you want to support this channel even more, you can check out the membership. It's very cheap. You get some perks when getting the membership. You get Spanish word of the day from Monday to Friday. And also a big shout out every time I live stream. So that's awesome. So yeah, feel free to click on the join button down below. And also I have a Discord server. It's basically just a Spanish community on Discord. So if you want to join that, it's for free. You can do it for free. You need to, you can find a link in the description down below. You don't need to join the community, but if you want to do that, you can find the link in the video description down below. Muchas gracias por ver este en vivo. Espero que les haya gustado y nos vemos la próxima semana. I'll see you next week. Take care. Buenas noches, or buenos días, buenas tardes, wherever you are. Take care. Cuídense. Adiós. Bye-bye.